In a bombshell revelation on live television, Home Secretary Yvette Cooper faces fury as her own lawyers were caught arguing that illegal migrants' rights outweigh those of British taxpayers. Shockingly, they claimed sexual assault allegations against a schoolgirl weren't enough to close migrant hotels. Political commentator Patrick Christys demands her immediate resignation, exposing how Cooper was allegedly on holiday while this crisis unfolded. This is an absolute betrayal of British values that will leave you speechless. Before this, I want to say a big thank you to all our supporters who helped us reach our very first 1,000 subscribers. That achievement truly means a lot and inspires us to keep giving you our best. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now. Most people who watch our videos aren't actually subscribed. We know life gets busy, but subscribing is completely free and it really helps us grow. Our next goal is 3,000 subscribers, and with your support, we can get there even faster.
Does she have to go over what we've heard in court today, do you think?
I'll say this, the Home Secretary's job is in the title Home Secretary. She's meant to be looking after us above all people, straight away, first thought, last thought, the people of this country. If she's not doing that, I think the people of this country will have to express their will in an election. It's an astonishing statement to say that her department would take the welfare of foreign nationals seeking asylum or not above that of British nationals. That is a very astonishing thing to say. I think secondly as well, the jury is in now. Labour have utterly failed on the small boats. And the reason I say that is because when the Tories are struggling, and let's be clear, I'm not suggesting we did a good job, we didn't. They made it so much harder to achieve anything. Left-wing organisations taking the government to court, the Labour Party voted against everything they could in Parliament. We haven't done that to them, and they have still failed abysmally. I think that Yvette Cooper needs to look again at her deal with the French, because they clearly are not fulfilling it, and we are paying lots of money. She needs to start to suggest the money can be spent elsewhere.
You can't have a Home Secretary who is willing to say, or via legal representatives in court, that the needs of foreigners are more important, illegal foreigners, by the way, are more important than her own citizens. It's game over.
It's disgraceful. I'm absolutely disgusted, and I think she's completely out of touch. She probably thinks that all the mums and dads that have been on those protests in Epping are just, far-right racist bigots because she lives in her bubble and doesn't go out and speak to these people. And it is...
Of a migrant hotel. I mean, what is serious enough?
Well, first of all, she wants to close every migrant hotel because that's the government policy. There are fewer migrant hotels than there were under the previous government, the Tory government. Admittedly, there were more people in them, but there's fewer sites, so at least that tries to control the problem, and then moving towards having no sites. And above all, we want a Home Secretary who respects the law. She's not saying it's her priority. She's saying she has a legal duty. If she had a choice, and she could wave a magic wand, I disagree with Chloe. She would. In fact, she would end the small boats crisis instantly. The problem is there are laws in the way. And legally, the problem with this is that the decision about the bell in Epping is it will mean that those residents have nowhere to go. There is literally nowhere for them to go, and legally her duty to ensure under the European Convention, which we're still in for now, means that she has to find them somewhere to go.
What about just outright incompetence?
Yeah, but none of even if you take all of what Matthew said is correct, none of that justifies the idea that it's their welfare above British citizens' welfare. None of that justifies that at all. It's not per se the welfare of migrants above British citizens. It is in this particular instance of remember, this case is about the planning use. The actual legal case is about the planning permission for the Bell Hotel. Like the splitters here, there should be no circumstance. That's the point. No circumstance where you even have to question yourself if the welfare... She's elected to look after the people of Britain.
And at the moment, of course, nobody's been found guilty around the Epping thing, and that will obviously come into the consideration.
The one thing I will say about closing down a migrant hotel because of this allegation, it is an allegation, and we are, in this country, innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
And the point I'm...
to do it, they did it. It was when both sides had made their case and they found out that the judge had reached a verdict, and then all of a sudden the Home Secretary decided to get involved. And her lawyers have stood up again in full view of the British press and the British public today and basically said the reason we didn't do that was because it was August and we're very sorry. All right, so what? She's gone interrailing with Ed Balls and she's invisible during the most important case of modern times when it comes to illegal immigration. You have to go over that alone, surely.
Yeah, I mean, the incompetence is just off the scale, not just on this, but since she got into power. She campaigned on a promise to smash the gangs and set up this new border force control command, or whatever she called it, or border fast, as you should probably call it. And then they came in July, and the entire summer, when it's July, August, lovely sunny weather, the boats just came in and they didn't even have somebody in charge of the new border force command until the autumn, after the big hurry of people coming across in the summer. There's no urgency whatsoever. And let's not forget, this is the woman who held up a refugees welcome sign. I do not